Hello, RWorld, and welcome back to another episode of RWorldTalk. I'll start by just saying that I apologize that we've been on a brief hiatus, but there's been a lot of association travel going on. We had NAR NXT out in Anaheim, and then we had the Thanksgiving holiday, so we let everybody take a little break from the podcast, but we are back in action, and as I typically say, I'm super excited to introduce our next guest. This guest is a longtime friend of mine. He used to be my softball coach. Welcome to Kenny Silverman, who's going to be our 2024 First Vice President for Broward, Palm Beaches, and St. Lucie Realtors.
Thank you, Chris, for inviting me today. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you being here. Kenny's actually my neighbor. I could take a quick golf cart ride right to his house, or a quick little boat ride right to your house. It's nice to have you so close. And it's been really a pleasure to watch you grow in all the roles that you've had within the association and all the great things that you've been doing. And I think it's going to be really exciting to see what you do in that first vice president's role. So this series that we are going to have for the month of December is going to introduce you all to the new executive team, our new executive board for 2024. All these people were introduced and brought to you at the Realtor Revolution, and now they are all going to be installed as our new executive team on January 12th, 2024 for the Rock Experience. It's going to be super cool. We're going to have a good time, right?
It's going to be a blast.
It is going to be a blast.
Hopefully everyone will be there.
Well, I'm sure that we're going to sell that one out very, very quickly. Kenny, let's get right into it. You've been, how long have you been in real estate?
So I've been a licensed realtor for about 10 years, but I was investing in real estate for the 20 years prior to that. Okay. So it was easy transition from my prior career right into real estate.
So let's talk about that. What was your prior career to real estate?
That was the federal government. Okay. So I worked with them for 25 years, and then I retired from there. Like I said, I was already investing in real estate, so it was very simple for me to make the transition into instead of what I do for myself, but then start to do it for my clients.
Okay, awesome. And how's that ride been so far?
Woof, up and down, up and down. Now the ride's amazing. It is. The ride's an amazing ride.
So what's your favorite part about selling real estate?
The people's reactions, my clients' reactions, how happy they are. Give you a great example. I have a client right now. They closed this morning on a property, and they're buying their first house together. And they're excited about, we're going to put your stuff here, my stuff there. It's great. It's
awesome. Yeah, we see all your social media posts, and it seems like your clients are always, at the front door with these huge smiles on their faces. And I've actually talked to your preferred lender that had said that you are one of the best realtors that he's worked with, because you are just like so on top of things for your clients, which is it's nice to know that you are making an impact in the community, but at the same time, you're also showing the consumer basically the epitome of professionalism in what we all strive to do for them.
We have an amazing team. From my lender, from the title to the people on my team, it's wonderful. Okay. We all work together to get it done.
Right on. So you're current and future RWorld director, right now serving on the corporate board. Like I said, you're moving up to first vice president on the executive team, which is certainly going to be a busy year. First vice president has got to be one of the hardest positions that we have in volunteer leadership here at the association, because we've got to cover 130 miles of coastline. So why don't you tell us why you chose that position as the one to go for?
So you just said it's one of the hardest, but it's actually probably the most satisfying also. With that position, I'm going to have the opportunity to go to all of the regional board meetings and work very closely with our regional vice presidents, their vice chairs, and all of their committee members, which will really, I'll be able to impact their life, which will hopefully impact our association in a way better way. Our association is doing a great job, but I really want to see all of those people come up even further behind me now. And yeah, it's going to be an amazing year. It's where I'll have the most impact.
You are definitely going to have some serious impact on the association in that role. As a matter of fact, when we were in deliberations after the nominating interviews and whatnot, it was basically unanimous around the table where everybody said, first vice president role was made for Kenny Silverman. So we're excited to see all the people that you're going to be able to impact in that role. So why don't you tell us give us some detail on what it means for you to be a leader?
As far as for me to be a leader, it gives me the opportunity to help other people, right? So we have to lead by example. So everything that I do, I'm always trying to lead by example, because otherwise people aren't going to be comfortable doing the things that you're recommending or suggesting. And with being a leader, I get the opportunity to help build consensus with usually the board that I'm with, or with the group that I'm with, or committee that I'm with. So it's really great to see all of that happen. And it's really like, I was just watching somebody else just grow further that I remember that I helped with the beginning of their leadership journey. And they just got appointed to a wonderful position coming up for next year too. So I'm really excited about that. So that's really what a leader would be to me.
Okay. So you're going to be a good mentor for everybody.
That's why I started the mentor-mentee program.
So what are some key points that you want to convey to members that are listening to the podcast?
So key points. Thanks for asking me that. I always have key points. I always got points. So I would say my real two big things that I would be saying to all of our members out there. The first thing would be to make sure that we are actually lifting each other up and not tearing each other down. I find that a lot of us, like you said earlier, that you saw my Facebook, my social media presence. So I watch a lot of other people's social media presence, and one of the things that bothers me a little bit for our industry is the fact that we are so quick to write, "Oh, the other realtor was late." Guess what? The other realtor is going to be late. If you're not ready for that, you're probably in the wrong industry. The other realtor missed something on an offer. That's okay. That's what you're here. Together, collaborate, make that happen for our clients, and it's so much easier. Your people that you have on your social media, they already love you. They already trust you. You're their person. So you don't need to prove to them that you are smarter or better than the next realtor by cutting that realtor down. That would be my first thing. And my second thing, I really want to let everyone know, from our members, from our volunteers, from our committees, from our board members, is just that your voice is heard with RWorld.
Absolutely. That's a fantastic point. And I love that. I love you are one of those people that's always trying to help somebody and teach somebody along their way. And I know this about you. If somebody sends over a contract to you that maybe is missing something, you always take that role to give them a call and say, "Hey, this is what you missed in the contract. I just wanted to let you know that you shouldn't leave this blank and this should be filled out." Or, "Is this what you meant to say? Because I think that you meant it this way. And how about if I change that for you in the counter offer and send it back to you?"
100%, because at the end of the day, who wins when we make that contract right? Our clients.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're here for, sir.
So what are a couple things that inspired you while serving at the association, or what really made you want to get involved in the association leadership?
Oh, it was accidentally. So somebody asked me one day to help with a Realtor Political Action Committee auction, just to be a runner for them. I was a runner.
So that was like at RPAC Jamboree?
RPAC Jamboree a long time ago. And it just really, honestly, it snowballed from there. It just little by little. And one of the things that really keeps me involved over the years is, as long as I can keep making a difference, then that's great on my part. But what I love so much is that before I was a realtor in those investing years, I didn't really know what realtors did. I was using realtors in order to invest. And I didn't know that they were doing Habitat for Humanity, that they were doing military builds, that we were cleaning up beaches. I didn't know that we were doing all of this. I didn't know this. So I love the fact that we get an opportunity now to try to do that all the time. We do it all the time. I don't make every one of them, but I try to make as many of them as I possibly can. And that's the piece that's just so key to me.
Yeah, we can make a huge difference with all of our political advocacy efforts that we do, different committees that we sit on with the association. But I've got to say that one of the things when I first got involved was also with RPAC. and government affairs and MLS were sort of the first few things that I had been brought into the fold with the association. But as soon as I got my first taste of community outreach and doing rebuilding South Florida, and got involved with, we repainted the church parking lot and did all that cleanup. Me and you were actually on that build together.
I was just thinking we were, yep.
Yeah, and just seeing the smiles on the faces of all the people in the community that came out, and they simply couldn't afford to clean up their yards, and they couldn't afford to paint their homes. And we went in there and, cleaned up all the blight in that area, and it was like so heartwarming that I don't know why anybody wouldn't be involved with the association or any of our community projects that we do. It really makes you feel better, but at the same time, you're helping to build community.
The other thing that I really like about that is that in order to get a group of us together and actually to go paint that house that you're talking about, I also think we did the landscaping on that house too. I remember carrying bales of grass, is the fact that our staff here with the association, we call them staff, but they really should be called team, because they put so much work into us being able to go out and do these things. And I think we forget that sometimes, and I always try to remind our members of that as much as possible.
Yeah, we owe them as much appreciation as we can. They join us on those builds, and
correct.
Wake up early on a Saturday morning. Yeah. Grab a paintbrush. Yeah, it's fantastic. The staff here really is just like family to us.
100%.
So many people don't talk about when they maybe almost quit or walked away from volunteerism, whether it was burnout or a falling out for some reason. Have you ever just wanted to walk away, and if so, what stopped you? Because you're still here.
I'm out of here now. Okay. No. So I think everyone would come across a time where they would feel that way if you're doing anything for a lot of years, no matter what that is. So yeah, I did hit that time one time. Actually, I'll be very blunt. I put in for a position. I didn't receive that position that I wanted. And I was very lucky that before I had any reactions, before anyone knew how unhappy I was, the people that are around me, they were very clear and reminded me about why I do what I do. And if I pull back and stop, well, then I'm not going to be making that difference anymore. And how often does my phone ring with people wanting help from me? And then am I going to separate from all of that? So I'm very, very, very happy that it was caught early, but I was there. I was definitely there. And if I can go on a drop further, I'm even happier because it was this position that I have going into 2024 when I didn't get it in the past. So I'm actually going to get to do that position also. So I'm just so happy about that.
Well, there's always a right place and a right time for everyone. But in the moment, you might not see it because you worked so hard and go, oh man, I was overlooked and it hurts. But then you realize whoever did end up getting that position, you see the job that they did and you say, you know what, it was the right time for them. Everything always happens for a reason. And we've got in this association so many fantastic volunteers that we've got a really deep bench, and we often have a lot of people that are vying for those positions. And when it's the right time for you, it'll be the right time for you.
Everything that happens in our association is if you watch over my past years with everyone around me, including yourself. I mean, we've been in Leadership Academy together, right?
I was passed over a lot of times.
Yeah. So this happens. It's one, and the great part about living that for me was that I'm able to help other members now when they're feeling, oh, I didn't get the vice chair, I didn't get the chair, they didn't put me on this committee. And I could be, I get it. I feel your pain. 100% feel your pain. I get it. I'm able to talk them through.
Yeah.
So my experience has been able to help so many other people since.
So what's the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome while serving or being involved in a leadership role, and how did you contribute to its resolution?
My biggest challenge. So my biggest challenge would be that I didn't realize how many different personalities people have, and that I need to adjust to each one of those people's personalities. They're not going to adjust to me. That's their personality. And if you're in any type of leadership role, you need to address each person as they need to be, give them the the conversations that they need, give them, interact with them the way they need. And there are so many different personalities. And, all of us in volunteering, we're from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different upbringings. That's actually one of the great things about it, but it also makes it a little bit harder. So I had to understand that, learn that. And what I did to help myself with that was to actually play back my conversations with people after I had them and said, hey, wait, I could have answered Chris a little bit differently to try to help him with whatever he was going through.
Right. Yeah, we just heard that from Leadership Academy recently when they were delivering their project to the corporate board, that we had asked them a question, what was the hardest thing about getting through your project? And one of the members of Leadership Academy had said, I didn't realize all the different personalities that I would be working with. And that was actually a challenge for us to overcome each other's personalities in order to work together towards a common goal. And I think that's so important, not just in volunteer leadership, but in any aspect of your life where you've got a group of people that are trying to reach a common goal. Is figuring out how to work well together is the first hurdle that you always have to overcome in order for you to move forward.
Sure, like all of our brokers, right? All of our brokers, they have all these different realtors in their office, and they all have different personalities.
Yep.
You've got to just learn. But it took me a while to realize you didn't interact with everyone the same way.
Yeah.
So that's key.
Yeah, I know that as a broker, when I have somebody walk into my office, it might be I need to figure this out within 30 seconds and get them out the door so that they can continue about their day. Or there's other people that walk into my office where I just have to say, okay, shut the door and have a seat, because I know this is going to be a very long conversation, because what they may need from me, that particular personality, might just be somebody who's willing to listen, where the other person is just looking for a quick answer. And it's certainly learning those people as we go along and how to overcome whatever it is that they're looking for, or however to deal with their personality. But yeah, that's an interesting point you make. So you also you were talking about previously you worked with the government, but you also recently had built and owned a 7-Eleven, and that was something that you had for a while, and that is now in your past as well. But how can realtors become more entrepreneurial? Because obviously you've been able to hit the nail on the head as far as your entrepreneurial spirit, as far as talking about that. But what are some essential qualities that a realtor can have in order to be more entrepreneurial? Because we're all running our own businesses.
Right. So that would be the first thing, would be to realize you're already doing this. Right. So you're already doing this every day from the time you got your license, signed with a broker, and said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. You have people's lives in your hands. So you have to know the importance of what it is. The biggest key that I've got to say is whatever business you get involved in, you have to love it. You can't, no offense, you've already said the brand of the gas station that I owned, no offense to them, but I wasn't concerned about the way somebody's coffee tasted. I don't drink coffee. See, I didn't drink coffee.
So you weren't passionate about that?
I wasn't passionate about the coffee. Somebody's house, somebody's leadership journey, it's never a problem. So when someone's buying a house and there's an issue that comes up, and that's what it is, it's an issue. How do we fix this hiccup? And we just fix the hiccup. When it's something that you're not in love with and you're not passionate about, you're like, oh no, I can't believe I've got to go fix the coffee, or whatever that is. So you've just got to, one, take stock in yourself, know that you've already done this for yourself, so you can do it with any business. So yeah, that would be the way to do it.
So you need something that pulls at your heartstrings in order to get you out of bed in the morning and get you all excited.
Yeah, like for me, real estate being my second career it's my passion now. It's not what I have to do, it's what I want to do. It's volunteering. It's not what I have to do. Nobody has to volunteer. It's what I want to do. Going in making coffee at 5 a.m., not what I wanted to do.
Funny story for those of you guys that don't know. So Kenny and I and a big group, so we're all RPAC major investors. We're also President Circle members. So we were at a President Circle convention down in Cancun, I believe was this one. And it came to my attention, which I didn't know. All of you guys, I'm sure, know our past president, who's now going up to Florida Realtors secretary in 2024. He was also our outgoing Beaches MLS chairman. But Mr. Jeffrey Levine, you've known Jeffrey for years, and I thought it was in Florida, but you guys lived in the same building in New York.
Correct. So we lived Brooklyn. If you don't know it, it's a pretty big place. The block that I lived on, pretty big block. The building that I lived in, that Jeff Levine lived in, we had 70 units total in the building. So it was actually one of the smaller buildings. Jeffrey lived upstairs from me. Jeffrey was best friends with one of my ex-girlfriend's brothers, and it was just, it was
so crazy.
It's such a small world to think that we didn't talk about this when we were younger. We didn't even think about this when we were younger. And then we both moved to Florida. We both, started real estate, and then we both.
Did you guys stay in touch that whole time? Did you know that you were both selling real estate?
Not
so
at
he's
all.
in Palm Beach County selling real estate. Yep. You're down in Fort Lauderdale, and you guys had no idea that each other lived in Florida.
Zero idea. And it was just, if we didn't volunteer, we would have never figured that out, because we didn't cross on a business deal. We crossed while volunteering. So again, another great reason why everyone should be out there volunteering for our association, putting in for those committees and the boards.
You never know when you're going to bump into an old friend. That's so crazy. Okay, well, obviously you're busy because you're a producing realtor and need to get back to work. So I'm going to ask you one last question, and then we're going to let you get back to doing what you're doing. So tell us about a little Florida gem that we may not know about. You are a social butterfly. You're always like turning me on to different restaurants that I had never heard of. What's a favorite place or thing about living in South Florida, or a little hot spot that maybe our listeners might want to know about?
So I would say a hidden gem, if you have an opportunity, and here it is, a lot of little hidden gems are really big and in your face. The water taxi.
Oh,
just to take the water taxi. You take the water taxi out, act like a tourist for the day, right? Like you would go to another state, you're like, oh, I need to go for a boat ride. Oh, I need to rent a car and go for a drive. Well, act like a tourist. So for me, where we live, acting like a tourist would be jumping onto the water taxi, learning all about our houses from the water view. That would really be the best little hidden gem that's right in all of your faces.
So the water taxi that he's talking about is actually the Fort Lauderdale water taxi. And right now, because we're getting into the Winterfest boat parade time of year, we're in December. I was recently out on the boat for Thanksgiving Day, went down to my business partner's house, and everybody's Christmas lights in these mega mansions on the water are just absolutely spectacular. So I absolutely second what Kenny said. Get down to Fort Lauderdale, jump on the water taxi for an evening ride. They'll drop you off at different points, so you can stop at different bars and restaurants down on the New River. It'll take you up to Shooters, and you could look at all of the beautiful displays, the light displays, holiday light displays that are out there. That's a great one. I'm glad that you said that. It's perfect timing for this time of year too. Okay, with that, we're gonna let Kenny get back to work, and we will see you guys right back here next week for episode 2 of our incoming executive, what would you call this? Series, I guess, right here on RWorldTalk. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, all.